That's right, baby. We're back. Alright. Alright. Guys, you know I don't usually do something like this. A lot of my talking head pieces, I try to focus on games, stuff like that, but dude, we can't ignore the industry, I guess, and the directions that things are going. This is a rumor. I want to start there. Right now, these are not confirmed. Dexerto rather, is not the only place kind of citing this source that the ROG Xbox Ally will be priced at $700, while the ROG Xbox Ally X is expected to retail much higher, up over $1,000. Got a few things I want to talk about with this, because it is frustrating. And this is as a recent Steam Deck owner. We actually have our eyes on a ROG, and one that we're getting is significantly not $700. It's not the same price as a PlayStation 5 Pro at MSRP. And I know it's not fair to necessarily compare a video game system to these console hybrids and such. And I'm not going to do that too much outside of the price, but the simple facts are these. The PlayStation 5 Pro, undoubtedly, I would guess. Again, I don't have my hands on an Xbox Ally. I'm a consumer. I'm not a reporter or anything like that. I'm like you guys. I go out, I buy my games, and I freaking enjoy them, and I get consoles and stuff like that, and that's what I do. So if you're thinking I'm some kind of higher power in the industry, no, I'm just a dude who loves video games. As a lot of you know from my channel, but as I digress, here's the thing. Price, bro. Price, and yes, this is an issue with the PlayStation 5 Pro. This is an issue with every model of ROG that I've come across. And it all comes down to the competitor space. The most recent pricing changes on Xboxes are egregious, in my opinion. You're seriously putting yourself within striking distance of a PlayStation 5 Pro when the hardware speaks for itself when compared. And anyway, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going super crazy on this. I want to focus specifically on the ROG Ally bit here. So here is well, let me first show you the screenshot. This is the screen grab that people are talking about. That it was pulled from an Asus store. Now, again, this is all rumor mill, so it's, this time tomorrow could be completely hearsay. Again, I'm not a reporter. I just saw this and it was like, Jesus, dude, really? Really? Anyway. Alright, a few weeks ago, we exclusively leaked the Xbox Ally, codenamed Keenan, in development with Asus ROG. The Xbox Ally is powered by Zen 2 APUs, or Z2 APUs, including the first handheld that'll support Z2 Extreme on the high end. These devices, of course, will have a customized Windows 11 experience. We've kind of seen what they're doing with the app already, kind of integrating the Steam section and stuff like that. I fully expect it's all to prepare for this. It's all to prepare for kind of moving forward. And if I'm being completely honest, I do think it is to prepare kind of for the end of life. This is going to be our final UI for Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. Kind of like what happened with 360. Once they just kind of settled on it, started focusing on the next iteration or whatever their next step was. That was the dashboard that we got. So that's kind of what I expect. And it even says here, the new Xbox app will handle multitasking and other system features with an interface more intuitive for a controller to use that Steam Big Picture, while also likely being the most powerful gaming handheld. Given that fact, people are expecting it to have the price tag, right? Here's the thing. Here's what gets me a little bit about this. Even if it is the most powerful handheld in existence, I'm going to go over one term that these Xbox ROGs do not have, at least from what we've had reports. No OLED panel. So even if your guts are what they are, Bro, some of that hardware, some of that, or rather, some of the price tag starting to scratch a little bit. Especially when the big boy, the big Steam Deck, $649, which is, in my opinion, that's still too expensive. Like I got the little LCD one, and you know, that 400, that 450, that kind of the Switch 2 spot and everything is really where you're starting to push for a handheld. And I know, I and this is why I didn't want to compare it too much to a console's. You know, the console experience is in your house, TV or monitor or whatever, and it's base, right? Whereas, you know, the ROG Ally, Xbox, you know, or Steam Deck or Switch or whatever, that's on the go. And I do know that that is partly a large factor into the price. That is just like the PS5 Pro when it comes to what we call a premium item. Do I think for a second that this Xbox ROG is going to kick in the wheelhouse of the Xbox Series X? No. Even the rumors I've read in a lot of these articles swirling around that it may be kicking close to a PS5, which mind you is impressive. Close to. Guys, how much is a PS5? Look at that, 402 at Walmart. That's marked down. 450 with Astrobot. 450 with Astrobot. So even if it's kicking in the wheelhouse of that, like it really comes down to user preference. I know a lot of people like to be on the go. I know the ROGs really from people that I've spoken with and other people in the handheld market, because I have a Steam Deck, I have a Switch, stuff like that. A lot of people either don't know what the heck a ROG Ally is, or they traded theirs for a Steam Deck. Like, they, and compartmentalize real quick. Get back in the zone. Here's a little bit of what I think Microsoft's issue, and I know Asus could have a good hand in this pricing structure because their non-Xbox little ROGs cost a crap load of money. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're also saying, no. If ours costs this, yours is going to cost this, kind of thing, right? My deal is, since the Xbox One, when it came out against the PlayStation 4, outside of hearing everything about TV, we've always heard when the Xbox One X specifically dropped, we're the most powerful. We're the most powerful. Most powerful in video, right? Spoilers, in this handheld space, I don't think anybody gives much of a crap. Y'all should see some of my like Expedition 33 footage on the deck. It's middling. It's not the way it looks on the PS Pro. And look into any of my footage for stuff that's kind of intense. Resident Evil 4 make, heck, even 2 make and everything. You're dialing stuff down because you're focused on the gameplay experience. The horsepower, dude, leave that to PCs or leave it to the more premium consoles, your Series X, your PS5 Pros. Like, you want something, in my opinion, and again, I'm a consumer, I'm not a freaking expert on this. You want something competitive. And when you're gonna come out with this thing, like when ROG Allies aren't even heavily desired in general, like, at least, again, from people I've talked to, you have to think about the majority of the handheld market that wasn't Switch was Steam Deck. And that's a small pool. We're talking like, what, like 4 million units all time? How much of that pie you think's yours? That you're going to be able to get when your machine, when your machine's going to be $1,000 for the highest end one, or somebody can spend $650, get a 1 terabyte OLED Steam Deck, carry their library. Now, granted, I'm not going to be that dude who says that this thing doesn't have like features or anything. As far as I know, this whole web layout that they've got is going to allow you to play Steam games. It's going to allow you to play Game Pass to an extent, and I am going to say to an extent because until further notice, I'm not buying your entire Xbox library, your entire ecosystem being on there. And they haven't like said that verbatim, but they have said like spanning your library, which to me says, all right, any of the stream anywhere, the Xbox Play Anywhere, once it's supported on streaming through like a Fire Stick, those will be there, and then PC Game Pass will be there. And any PC games you might have bought through like the Microsoft Store, if you are really not liking yourself, those will be there. Those will all be there. Everything you bought on your Xbox, though? And here's the thing. We've already done this kind of dance with the Wii U. I'm very curious what's going to happen to a lot of people's Xbox libraries. How that support is going to continue. Because, you know, I feel like what a lot of people feel, and that's that console's definitely getting sun. But yeah, this was my 2 cents. I know it's kind of ranty again. I'm not one of these analysts who constantly like studies the whole market and everything. I'm not in these boardrooms and stuff like that. All I can see from the consumer side of things is, bruh, your minimum comes out to 700 American. That's the comparison I'm gonna draw. That's it. Oh look, they both come without disc trays. They're both luxury items. Except for one will likely completely dust the other. And yes, you'll probably, you got to assess, oh, do I only want to be able to play on a tiny screen? Will this come with a dock? Who knows? But jury's still out on everything for the ROG. What all it's coming with. Probably got plenty of horsepower, but my God. If this is real, again, if this is legit, dear Lord. Dear Lord. The lowest end Steam Deck is cheaper than a Switch 2. And the lowest end Steam Deck, well, probably the Steam Deck OLED. But those two in the middle there, to my knowledge, those are the most popular dogs on the market. And you're able to get like external storage and upgrade them and stuff like that. You should be able to do with the ROG in some capacity, but hell, after blowing $1,000, you're not gonna have money for storage. So, something to think about, guys. Are you interested in the Xbox ROG? Specs wise, price wise? Let me know in the comments. I know, again, it's kind of ranty. I'm not used to putting out videos like this. But yeah, let me know. Hey, you have a Steam Deck? Do you enjoy it? Are you going to trade it toward this ROG? Are you going to pass up the ROG to keep the Steam Deck, Switch 2, what have you? You guys know what to do. I will see you next time.
A trophy